Welcome back. This is part 4 of our castle UV mapping. Let's go ahead and now that we have the textile density set up, we're going to go ahead and do the larger building. So we've got 3 things textured already. Got this building, this castle piece, modular 1, modular 2, and this will be modular 3. So let's go ahead and get to it. Now as we go along, I'm going to go faster and faster, explain less and less, and if you need to pause the video to see what I click on, that's fine, but I really think at this point you probably know what you're doing and how to lay out UVs. If not, you can watch the videos or you can lay out the UVs yourself, because I've already done a automatic mapping. You know how to do that. I showed you 2 ways of doing the mapping on this automatic mapping and this cylindrical mapping. So the rest of these cubic buildings are all going to be automatic mapping, which won't take much time at all. All right, let's go ahead and get going. Control 1 to isolate. And we want to select the object, go to UV and automatic mapping. For automatic mapping to work properly, again, I will say you need to have delete by type history and freeze transformations for it to work properly. I'm going to go to UV editor, and it breaks everything up. I'm going to move it over to the side a little bit. Let's get back into selection mode. And in here we've got pieces that are upside down. So I'm just going to go to UV shell and let's take these pieces out to find out where they're at in here in UV space. So I'm going to go ahead and move that out of the way. Move this one out of the way. This one looks good. Move that one out of the way. And this one's upside down. I already can tell that. So I'm going to go ahead and rotate that. And this is the side view. That's correct. This is the other side. That's correct. So that looks good. And the little pieces are just everything that is left over with the automatic mapping. And so what I want to be black are the door and the windows. Okay, so I need to have those selected and moved away. So I'm going to hit the Q key and just hold the Shift key down to select all of these pieces that I need. Yeah, that's these right here. And up in here, I'm just going to go ahead and hold the Shift key down and select the window inside of the windows. And these will be in the corner. So those are all the window pieces and the door pieces. And I'm going to go ahead and move those down like this, down to this area right here. And just move those down here. So they'll be easy to paint. Okay, so before we go any further, now that they're kind of separated a little bit, I want to go ahead and set our textile density. So let's see if this changes. I'm going to go into shell, UV shells, and select everything, and then click set. Now these UV shells, this may not fit in there, so we may have to move or scale these down a little bit more. I don't think I'll be able to fit all this stuff in here properly because they're just too big. So I'm going to go back to Control Z, what we had before. There we go, because that fit. Okay, we just have to rearrange stuff in here. So let's go ahead and rearrange stuff. And we'll check the textile density at the very end. Alright, so I'm just going to pack all this stuff up. Front and back. So let's do this. Front and back. that. And top and bottom. Now I don't need the bottom, so I'm going to go underneath here. And best way to do that is to click on this as an object and do Control-1 so I can just isolate that. Here's the bottom down here. I'm going to go to Face Mode, select everything, and then hold the Control key and deselect all the way to the bottom as close as I can get. And it kind of automatically got this one that I don't want to get, so I'm going to go hold down the Control key, deselect that, and I am just going to hit delete, and that should get rid of the bottom. Delete, because the bottom you'll never see, so it'll also save some faces, face count. So it also takes away from, so it gives me a little more room. So I'm going to go in here, UV shell, select these, and move these in. Probably can move this over closer. I still don't think that's going to give me enough room, but that's okay. So just move this up a little bit. Okay, they just can't touch. I get about half of those, move those up here, move those here, just kind of take a couple of these, like that, move those in, and that's it. Let's kind of move this away from this area here. I'm going to deselect that one, select that, deselect that, and move these up a little bit. I just got to remember those are going to be painted black. Alright, so UV shell, and we're going to get this into selection mode. And you're going to do the same UV snapshot. Everything's set up here. It's going in the right area. We got number 1, number 2, and this is going to be number 3. Modular 3. Apply and close. And close that and go to File, Export Selection, and OBJ, and this will be number 3. There we go. Export selection. And the next one, Control-1. Next one is going to be the other cylinder here. Okay, I'm going to do Control-1. You can see we've got some of it's not there because it's part of the main front entrance. I'm just going to do this really quickly. I'm going to click on center pivot. I don't need to see the bottom, so let's go ahead and get rid of the bottom. Let's do Control-1 in this viewport here, and do Control-1 again because that will isolate that. And I'm going to go into face mode, select the whole thing, and then hold the Control key and select just everything but the bottom. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of those, delete those faces. That looks good. Okay, and we're just gonna do a delete by type history and freeze transformations. That's always good to do. UV map, automatic mapping. Click on object mode and go into and make sure it's selected again and go to UV editor. There we go. Gonna go to UV shell, and everything's laid out pretty good. And we're just gonna kind of get rid of these pieces here. I need to rotate that. I can tell that needs to be rotated. There we go. And there we go. And we're going to move these. Just kind of move these out so you can get them together. So I'm going to go to edge mode. Select these edges here. Move and so. Click on these. These are a lot easier, I guess, than the other ones. Move and so. Whoops. Move and so. And then we're going to click on move and so. Whoops. There we go. Pretty simple stuff. Again, we're going to go ahead and select these as UV shells and go down to orient shells, and we click on these guys, and we're going to go ahead and orient shells, do these orient shells. Click on this, and let's kind of move these out of the way just so we have some space to move stuff around if we need to. We click on that UV shell. Just make sure you're in UV shell. Make sure you select it and click on unfold. Click on the UV shell and then click on unfold. There we go. And then I like to do straighten UVs. That looks really good. And we need to select everything and then go to the textile density, and we're going to set that. So it's going to be a lot smaller, because we've got the textile density set to the largest object, so this will be a little bit smaller. We're going to probably waste a little more space here, which is fine. So I'm just going to do a quick pack here. Nothing special. Just kind of getting everything in there. Does this one have any windows? It does not. Okay. If you want to add windows, now's the time to do it. I didn't add any windows in there, but that's okay. So no windows in there. So I am going to go into object mode, go into this UV snapshot, go into browse, go into, this will be number 4. Number 4, save, apply and close this, and go to file, export selection, and go to, this will be count as number 4, and export selection. I'm going to hit the Control 1, and that'll be for this video. We got 2 things UV mapped, so now we have 4 altogether, and we'll knock these out pretty quickly in the next video.